Presently starts the news at 6. Here we start with a few letting the cat out of the bag and calls for equity in the Shanquella Robinson case developing stronger today. Lawyers for the Robinson family, including Benjamin Crump, we were all beginning to lose trust that equity could at any point be served, yet new stunner proof has surfaced that is flipped around all that. It's uncovered exactly how devilish and cold-hearted the Cabo Six truly are, and the unspeakable revulsions they incurred upon poor Chancellor Cantchow growed up to be adorable love individuals, and they don't chase like this. It's horrendous. And afterward they had a video that became a web sensation. The entire world seen the video and there's been no capture. This will knock your socks off. Shanquella's family has at last stood up and dropped the sensation of all sensations. They've uncovered the character of the individual who truly ended her life, and let me let you know it's somebody that no one at any point expected. And the manner in which they attempted to cover their tracks and control Shanquella's friends and family is out and out disgusting. Her gear. What did they tell you happened to your girl? Then she became ill from drinking. It's been around 5 months since we lost Knifewella Robinson in that terrible mishap in Cabo, Mexico, while she was holiday with her companions. For such a long time it seemed like the Cabo Six would fall through the holes and break discipline for their detestable activities. The specialists were hush about the subtleties, guaranteeing that the examination was all the while progressing and that they couldn't uncover a lot without compromising it. Yet now that the standby is over, we can at long last become familiar with reality with regards to what happened to Shanquella. We at last realize who is to be faulted for her heartbreaking demise. Following quite a while of hypothesis, a stunner disclosure will without a doubt send shockwaves all through the local area. Shanquella's grievous passing has turned into a flat-out sensation via virtual entertainment, and for good explanation. It's an all-out wreck. I mean, might you at any point accept that she traveled to Cabo in only 24 hours after the fact she was gone? It's a horrible that no one might have seen coming. At first her purported companions attempted to deceive everybody by asserting that her demise was only a consequence of liquor harming. Might you at any point accept that they figured they could hide it where no one will think to look and imagine like nothing happened? Let Shanquella's family won't let that slide. They realized something wasn't correct and they won't rest until they made quick work of it. This is what they needed to say regarding what is happening for reasons unknown. When Shanquella was first brought to the estate where they were remaining, her companions let the specialists know that she had essentially had a lot to drink. Might you at any point envision if by some stroke of good luck they had confessed all and come clean? Perhaps Shanquella would in any case be with us today. Yet the story just gets more upsetting from that point. Unfortunately, after that, Shanquella went into heart failure and was pronounced dead at 6 p.m. Yet here's where things get truly wrecked. The postmortem report recorded her reason for death as an extreme spinal rope injury and map book laxation, a condition that is brought about by unsteady or unnecessary development in the initial 2 vertebrae of the neck. It has proposed that Shanquella had been the casualty of actual viciousness, not simply liquor harming as her supposed companions had guaranteed. Significantly more dubiously, the dissection report made no notice of liquor in her framework in spite of the visitors' guarantees that she had been drinking vigorously. Individuals are currently conjecturing that, assuming that she truly had ingested sufficient liquor to cause liquor harming and would have appeared on the postmortem report right when we figured things couldn't deteriorate. A stunning video additionally surfaced web-based showing Shanquella being ruthlessly pulsated by one of her alleged companions. That is correct, people. It was, in all honesty, DJ D. Jackson who was found on camera pounding poor Shanquella's considerably. Seriously upsetting that others in the companion bunch were available during the assault yet never really halted it or helped Shanquella, and in the event that that wasn't awful sufficient, her purported closest companion Carlo Cook was heard ridiculing her during the thumping, saying, "Quella, can you basically retaliate?" While specialists still can't seem to authoritatively name Dijani as a suspect in Shanquella's homicide, many accept that the thumping she got from DJD might have killed her. Yet commit no error, people. The Combo Six are currently at the focal point of this examination and specialists have proclaimed them people of interest for the situation. Mexico has likewise decided that this is a femicide case and has mentioned the removal of the Cabo Six so they can confront equity in Mexico. Mexican specialists additionally put out an announcement saying this case is completely explained. We even have a court request. There is a capture warrant gave for the wrongdoing of femicide to the impediment of the person in question and against a supposed culprit, a companion of her who is the immediate attacker. Really, it was anything but a fight. However, rather than direct hostility, we are doing every one of the relevant strategies For example, the Interpol ready and the solicitation for removal to the U.S. of America. It's around 2 Americans, the person in question and the guilty party, in spite of long periods of holding up a perpetual regulatory administrative noise. It seems like equity could at last be served. Shanquella's folks have had enough of the foot hauling and sent a scorching letter to the White House requesting answers, yet that is not even the juiciest part. They likewise uncovered the character of the individual Mexican specialists have been looking for, and it's, as a matter of fact, Shanquella's purported companion DJ E. Jackson. The letter explicitly shouted to Jen, referring to the viral video show Shanquella being thumped in the manner while bare by one of the 6 travel mates, who was recognized by an observer as to Johnny Jackson. A dissection report ready on October 30, 2022 in Mexico by clinical analyst Dr. Renee Dalvertu Galvano Sciarra noticed that Shanquella's body had a head injury and presumed that Shanquella's reason for death was a messed up neck. The letter proceeded, and because of the examination, a warrant was given for Dejonia Jackson by Mexican policing of the 6 travel mates who escaped to the U.S. After Shanquella was articulated dead, Ms. Jackson was distinguished as the culprit of femicide against Shanquella Robinson, a murder in view of orientation. Assuming that a U.S. resident perpetrates manslaughter in Mexico and gets once again to the U.S., as you know, they can have to deal with criminal penalties in the U.S. under government regulation or state regulation relying upon the conditions of the wrongdoing. The letter from Knife Manor's family to the White House is a tragic supplication for equity. Obviously, her folks are tired of the absence of progress in the examination and are frantic for answers. They're requesting activity from the U.S. government, regardless of whether it implies dealing with the culprits in America as opposed to removing them to Mexico. Yet the most stunning piece of the letter is the new data it uncovers about the Cabo 6. As per an observer explanation, Shanquella never truly fit in with the gathering. She appeared to not find a place with others. When I presented myself, she didn't welcome me or grin. She was detached, nothing to do with the climate of festivity. She was awkward at that party even after Shanquella was proclaimed dead. The gathering gave no indications of regret or despondency. As per an attendant who was at the manor, he went to give his sympathies to the gathering, and what he saw was genuinely upsetting. I left that region and remained external. The principal access to give them space to grieve in pain. Minutes after the fact, I heard chuckling. Hours after the fact, Jackson messaged the attendant about supper and he organized a ride for the gathering to San Jose, yet he figured out later the gathering went to the air terminal, reports the Charlotte Eyewitness. Some other time when the video was delivered of Jackson going after her, the attendant said he understood that basically had controlled him with an end goal to leave the country at the earliest opportunity. It's stunning to discover that when the gathering acknowledged they had caused Shanquella's demise, they didn't appear to feel any regret. Rather, they made a run for the line, expecting to try not to confront any ramifications for their activities. Their reckless activities feature an absence of worry for Shanquella's life, and it's no big surprise many accept this misfortune might have been planned when Easer featured the twofold guidelines at play, and there it isn't. One capture was made in knife variety. Robinson's obligation, assuming she was white. However, they would have been removed and charged. Currently, this would have been on 48 hours of full at-hand narrative. Another client inquired as to for what reason is it now 4 months after the fact and not one individual has been charged. Murder in the passing of Shanquella Robinson. Why are captures not made is the postpone. It's disturbing that they accepted the case would blow over once they arrived at the U.S., as though they suspected they could essentially get over their obligation. Tragically for them, the web is onto them. It's tragic to imagine that Shanquella's family needed to persevere through an extensive load for equity, yet at this point that the offenders have been distinguished, one can trust that the cycle will speed up and the family can at last get the conclusion they have the right to start the mending system that is supportive of the video. Gratitude for observing.